Welcome to the Third Wind channel. We're now 7 episodes deep into season 3 of the iCarly revival, and I thought it was a good time to do a tier list for the side characters of the show. 46 characters more or less in alphabetical order, and the 5 characters that are not included are our 5 main stars: Carly, Freddie, Spencer, Milson, and Harper. I figured we'd do this video now because I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot more side characters for the rest of the season, so let's get into it. Starting off with Argentina, one of our villains of season 1, and people are really divided on Argentina, but I thought overall she was a pretty scary, pretty modern villain. I'm going to put her in good for now, and these things will change maybe as the video goes, but I thought she was solid. The episode itself was a bit weak, but she was solid. Next we have Bo. Bo, I think, was underutilized a little bit, and it was a little weird how all of a sudden he was again all in love with Carly right away and all that. So he was good, about on the same level as Argentina, but not better. Next we have Brooke, who was, she was fun, but she didn't really offer much more. She was there for the moment, for this awkward Freddie Carly moment. So for that reason, I think I'm going to put her in meh, but there's nothing necessarily wrong with her. Next, we have BYRON, who was definitely a strange character. Harper kind of flirts with him, thinks he's, pretty attractive, but he is leaning into this kind of a doll expert field, which she doesn't find very attractive, but I appreciate the guy for being passionate about what he's passionate about. But overall, he didn't really do much for the episode, so he has to go in meh for me. Next, we have our most recent character, DANICA. The picture is cropped her off a bit, but this is DANICA. And I thought DANICA was exactly as she should be, I guess, as Marissa's best friend and book club mate. I thought that she could have had more lines. She was barely on camera. So for that reason, I have to put her in meh. Next, we have Derek. And Derek is interesting because I thought Derek was going to be a big character, Milson's boyfriend, all this, but they have him be in episode 9 of season 2. They introduce him, and then in our most I Go Public, during the possum storyline, they're just like, oh yeah, I broke up with him. So does that make him a bad character? Almost, the way they wrote him off, but I'm gonna put him in meh. But I did kind of, I'm not gonna base it on the story. I liked this character. I thought he was good. He could have been a good character for Millicent. Next, we have Dimitri, and I don't know if it was the episode or if it was him, but that whole storyline with Tinsley was not great. And Dimitri, yeah, he was entertaining. He could have been better in a different episode, perhaps. I don't know, but I think I liked him better than all of these characters, and if I were to order these, I think DANICA goes around here better than these two, and Dimitri might go just under DANICA. Next, we have Duke, which is just one of the best callbacks in season 1 to the original iCarly. Although Duke is such a small character, him being back was very fun. Can I make him great? Kind of seeing his growth from the original. I don't know. I think he deserves to be somewhere around here. That's where I'd put him. Next, Dutch. Now, this is one of the saddest characters that we've had kind of written off, or at least for now, because I think Double Dutch was so perfect for Harper. So I have to put Dutch at maybe not my favorites, but definitely great. We'll get to Tinsley, but this whole storyline we've seen this season makes me realize how good Dutch was for the show. Next up, we have Emily from our most recent episode, I Go to Toledo, and I'm not really sure where to put her. I saw people were a little divided about her in the comments, but was she better than DANICA? She was about the same to me. Dimitri and her kind of fit in a good area there together at meh. Next, we have Principal Franklin, which is just so great. I did a poll kind of asking you guys which character was your favorite that returned from the original this season, and it was a landslide win for Franklin, and I totally agree with that. Franklin, he's just so likable, there's nothing wrong with him. I really like him, so yeah, he's in my favorites. Another character to go in my favorites is, I'd say, Gwen. I don't know I just think that I love that there's going to be an episode with Gwen coming very soon, episode 9 of this season 3, and I can't wait to see her. So maybe it'll adjust after that episode, this tier list, but for now, Gwen is still one of my absolute favorite characters. I love that episode in season 1 with her, and I do like her relationship with Carly, with Freddie, and with Millicent. It's just a very interesting dynamic, so definitely a favorite of mine. Next, we have Henry, which is, again, we have these plots that kind of go nowhere in the show, and you have that with Derek, with Millicent, and in the same kind of arc you also have Henry. You know, have these potential love interests for Millicent that don't go anywhere, and I think he could have been more interesting than Derek. I'm gonna put them in the same pot. I think they're pretty similar in terms of the plot. Next, we have Griffin, who came for one episode. You know, a fairly big character in the original, and he came to the revival with a kind of similar gusto. And I'm gonna get some water. I think that he was fun for one episode, but I don't know how that MLM episode will age. I kind of have to think about it, but he's definitely not in great. I would put him in good. I think it was good for that one episode gag kind of thing. I'd put him perhaps right here. Next, we have Luke, I think? No. His name is Justin. He's from I Hate Carly. I think the episode's called I Hate Carly in season 1, sorry. The second episode of season 1. The one where Nora also appears. But was he good? Was he a good character? He was okay. I mean, he served his purpose in the episode, but he was pretty creepy, wasn't he? I think I'm going to put him in... yeah, somewhere around here. No, not good. Top of meh. Top of meh is fine for him. Maybe below Danica as well. Next, we have Lubert, who just goes straight into my favorites. I love Lubert. I mean, he was great in the original, and he's really carried all that firepower into the revival. One of the best performances. Honestly, maybe he's my top, actually. Second behind Franklin. So somewhere there, but Lubert is fantastic. I don't think I have to argue why. Next, we have Luke, who was in the very first episode of the revival, and I don't know. I don't have much to say about him. I think he's pretty boring. He doesn't deserve to be in bad, perhaps, but he's meh. Next, we have Maeve, and again, with these storylines that go nowhere, and these characters that come and go and don't mean anything, and I think Maeve was there, maybe it's as a plot device for Spencer, but what did she do in the show? What effect did she have? She had no effect for a character that was here for multiple episodes, so dare I put her in bad? And I don't like the storyline with like lost sister and kidnapped and Harper. I don't know. I didn't love it, you know. Maybe she deserves to be in meh, but it kind of irritated me, this storyline. Maybe she should be in meh. I don't know. Bad. I need to have something in bad. Next, we have Magic Malika, who I'm gonna put in great. I liked her in the original, and I liked her in this episode. I thought she was really fun, and the fact they brought back that special, real magic back into this universe was really fun. And that whole storyline with Freddie, what happened in that senior year, very interesting. So, great character. Next, Marissa. Obviously, Marissa's got to go into the favorites. She's the closest character to being a main cast character. You could almost consider that at this point. So, obviously, she's got to be there. We'll put her right at the top. Next, we got McKenna. This is a character I don't have any problems putting in bad. I didn't think the acting was good. I didn't think the idea of her was that good. And this one irritated me a little bit. The iCupid episode, I enjoyed the Freddie and Pearl plotline with the whole moving in and all that. And I liked the moments between Carly and Spencer, but she kind of got in the way of it, and it wasn't very interesting to me. Next, we have, what's this guy's name? It was Mystic Zagnut, I think is his name. I wrote it down here. I think I thought it was really funny, and okay, he's the only character in, I think, the whole iCarly universe that's died. So that's something about him. He can go next to Griffin. I thought he was a funny character, but the fact that he died was a bit weird, I guess. Next, Neville. I mean, instant favorites. He's been in 2 episodes in the revival, and I'd put him just below Lubert probably. Definitely a favorite. I mean, he's huge in the original, and especially in season 3, Neville really kicked it up a notch, and I really enjoyed him this season. Next, we have Nora, who, being such a kind of big character in the original, her appearance in the revival was pretty underwhelming, I'd say. Definitely warrants another appearance for her. I'd like to see another shot with her in the revival. So in terms of how good she was in the revival, her impact was not much greater than like Griffin's. You know, maybe I put Duke down here. But Bo or Nora, I don't know. What do you guys think? Where should Nora be? I'm gonna put Nora around here somewhere, because I think that she's just such a, you know, you could really use her character more. It was really funny when she crawled up the balcony and all that, but I'd like to see her again. I think she's in good for now. Next, we have Olive, which, again, especially anything that has to do with Millicent or Harper, any storyline really, or even Spencer to a degree, any character that's tied with them will eventually disappear, like will not matter. And Olive is just like, oh yeah, best friends with Millicent potentially, blah blah blah, and then she's just gone. So where do I put her? I have to put her next to all the other Millicent disappearees. You know, they have potential, but I can't put them in grade, and they're not bad characters, so I can't put them lower. That's the status there. Next, I don't think it's any surprise. I'm gonna put actually, is Paul favorites or great? No, Paul deserves to be up there. I think he's one of those characters which I love. You know, we have a few characters like Marissa, Lubert, Paul, which are more steadily reoccurring, and I think Paul is a great addition to the cast. There's some sort of stability that he creates, and overall just a very fun character. So I have to put Paul there. The idea of a manager is also just great in the show. Next one, I think this is probably going to be the hardest one to rate for me today, Pearl, right? When Pearl was introduced, I thought she was interesting, kind of moved the plot along, and we had a whole season and 2 episodes of Pearl. Of all the recurring characters, she might be, that isn't in the show anymore, she might have been the longest lasting one. And was she good? I don't know. Was she good? I mean, if we look at some other characters like Bo, I think she was definitely better than Bo. And she had the pet thing going on, and overall, I think she portrayed like a girlfriend gone to ex-girlfriend pretty well. I'm gonna put her in grade. I think she, like, compared to Dutch, I like Dutch more. But Pearl is interesting enough that she just barely scrapes that grade, and she was a pretty big character in the revival. Next, we have Possum, or I can't remember what other name she had. But I really liked the Possum plotline. It was a bit silly, but I thought it was interesting, like this kind of commentary about AI. So I'm gonna put the Possum more interesting than Griffin, maybe. No, around the same as Griffin, around there. She was good. She, right? Yeah, definitely she. They. Next we got Potter. And we've seen minutes of Potter. You know, one episode almost like not even focused on Potter, but I have to already put Potter in my favorites. I think she's just so charming. I see huge potential. If they throw this one away in terms of a character that just gets forgotten, I'll be, angry, not as much as with these ones. I think Potter has just such great potential that I'm already ready to put her in favorites. It's a bit of a bold put there, but I really like her character. Next, we have a Prank King, or can't remember what his name was, but yeah, the Prank King that kind of comes in season 2 and annoys Carly and gets beaten to a pulp. This one was a bit controversial. I don't think everyone, including myself, liked that he got, beaten senseless for what he did. He didn't deserve that necessarily, but his character kind of reinvigorating Spencer also get pranky again. Yeah. Good. He served a point. I think he was more meaningful than the characters in Meh, and I'd put him around the Mystic here. Next, Granddad Shay. I am tempted to put him in favorites as well, and he is. I mean, he's in such a great episode in the original called I Want to Stay with Spencer. It's the 5th episode of the original, and his return here was just, it wasn't one of the highest rated episodes, but for me it was. I really liked his return, and seeing this like Shay family is always meaningful. So I liked his return a lot, and it makes me want to see Carly's dad again. Next we got Guppy. I mean, in the revival he didn't do much, but he is Gibby's brother, and Gibby is one of my favorite characters. I have to put him in great. The happy birthday, just a small contribution is very fun. Same thing with Chuck, even higher. Sorry, I'm putting these characters higher up because Chuck has such revival energy. He could be great in the show as a recurring character. Imagine that he still lives in the building, for example. It would be great. So yeah, that whole episode with Lou Bird and Chuck and Guppy was amazing. I loved that episode. It's definitely top 5 for me. So yeah, great characters. Next we got Prunella, who is strangely like geared up as a pretty great match for Neville. So I think she's a great character, and Neville having a sidekick definitely helps his character along in the revival. So I'm gonna put her in just out of great. Doesn't have enough kind of there to make her great, but she's getting there, and her attempt at the evil laugh was very fun. Next we got what was her name? Ramona, the escort in the first season. She's one of the smaller characters on this list, but I figured I'd add her. I thought she was really fun. I'm gonna put her in good. No complaints. She's not going to be in any more episodes, and she's only in one, but I thought her whole plotline with Freddie was very funny. Next, Rip-Off Rodney is a character which I thought was really fun in the original, and the potential, it's hard to write him into the revival, and the potential's so high if you do it right. I think they did it just okay. They could have done it better. I'm gonna put him around with Duke. I think that's a fair place to put him. But I do love the idea of Rip-Off Rodney and his original character. Next, we got Scully. I mean, come on. That whole episode, I think it was called I Miss Something. The doll one. I can't remember. But the 8th episode of season 2. Scully kind of elevates that a whole star up on its own. I think it's just the monkey was amazing. So I'm gonna have to put Scully all the way up here above Pearl. A very fun character. Next we got Shane. Shane was kind of a buzzkill, I thought. I mean, it was fun to see him back, and all the callbacks were great. But the character itself, he takes Jim really serious. It's funny. But yeah, no, he's used well. I'm gonna put him at the very top of good. How about that? I do like his character. Next, we got Sunny. I mean, Sunny is this supposed to represent this influencer, right? The pinnacle of this influencer world. And I think she's she deserves to be somewhere around here, maybe a little higher. She gets some laughs. Sure, why not? Next we got Sylvia, who was in one episode. She was Wes's mom. She's the one who kind of was very nice to everyone, but then when everyone turns her back, she's mean to Carly. And I thought her moments were really fun. Some people were critical of it, but I thought she was good. Next we got Tinsley, and we haven't seen enough of Tinsley to give an accurate kind of rating here, but from what I've seen so far, comparing her to Dutch and everything, I just don't see her future in the show. Maybe that's really wrong of me to say, but I don't see it. I'm gonna put her in bad, just like I put Potter very quickly in favorites. I'm gonna put Tinsley very quickly in bad. I think she's one of the worst parts of this season, to be honest. A season that's been a fantastic best so far. Tinsley has made it worse, and maybe you guys disagree, but that's just how I think. Toby didn't have a big role, but it was fun nonetheless to see the train club back. Nothing bad to say about Toby, putting him in there. Next we got Troy, who Carly's had a few love interests, not love interests, but she's dated a few, and Troy was one of the more fun ones. I'd say he was about as fun as Bo, actually, so I'm gonna put him around there. And the fact that he runs off with Pearl adds a bit to the story as well. So these two, yeah, I would be interesting to see them again. I think we might actually see them again, to be honest. We got 2 characters left. I'm gonna leave Wes for last because he's a little more interesting, but Xavier is it was a fun character that I thought we'd see more of, but we didn't. He was good in the episode he came in, so I'm gonna put him maybe around the prank prince. And then we're left with Bo, which if you were to find a character that's most similar to Bo in the revival to compare him to, would be Pearl, because they kind of serve opposite long relationships. One was with Carly and one was with Freddie. And I think Pearl was definitely more interesting than Wes. Wes was just like a very basic character. And I think I'd put Wes... he had less time to get fleshed out than Pearl and all that, but still, I think that he's around Bo. I think that the fact that they got compared was fair enough. And the Woe Bros, put them in the same place. Maybe Bo is slightly more interesting. So that is my list. Not going to waste any more of your time. I want to hear your lists, your thoughts. Where did I go wrong? Just let me know your favorites. Let me know your least favorites. Let me know it all. I think I'm happy with this. And if you guys disagree enough with me, if there are some big arguments, I can take it up on a live stream. Then I'll let you, the chat, rearrange this a little bit. But for now, this is how it looks. Thank you for watching this longer, more talky video. And I hope you enjoyed my kind of thoughts on these side characters. I don't think there are any huge shocks, but this is how I feel. Well, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the Q&A coming very soon.